So, first of all, let's come to this present moment and very, very simply to recognize that this present moment is real. And that is a simple recognition that in this present moment you have a feeling that this is real, it's happening. And now let's compare this feeling to, let's say, 1 week ago or into the past. Now the past, it also happened, yes. It also was real. But right now it feels like you're pulling a certain energy to yourself to remember, what was happening last week. So you're bringing the energy and the memory back of what was happening a few days ago or last week. And now let's try to think of, let's say, 1 month into the future. And you have a certain vague projection into the future. Like a certain idea or a certain movement outward into the future and how that might look like or what you're going to do in a month. And if you think about 1 week ahead, you have a more certainty. There's a bit of more certainty 1 week from now. And if you think about tomorrow, there is a lot more certainty what's going to happen tomorrow. So I want you to recognize that now, and only now, you can go back into the past and bring the memory and energy back, or you can look forward and try to have a certain certainty of what's going to happen in the future, and whether you are bringing the past back or whether you are going into the future, projecting into the future. It's all happening always in the now, in the present. And this feeling of now, it has a sense of realness. That now is real. And the past was real, but it is remembered here. You can bring back the energy, recall the memory. Well, as you know, you cannot relive the past because that is finished. You don't have a time machine, so you can't really go into the past and relive it exactly as it was because that's finished. And you don't have a future time travel machine. You can't go into the future either. So either way, what is real is only the present moment. And this present moment is as real as when you were a kid. When you were 5, 7, 10 years old, it felt as real. This present moment felt as real when you were a teenage. This present moment was as real when you were unawakened adult. And this present moment is as real even now. And the good thing is that this present moment will become more and more real. And you will recognize more and more how real this is. And you will recognize more and more what is not real. What is the nature of other things? What is the nature of your memories? What is the nature of your imaginations? What is the nature of your projections? What is the nature of your anxieties and worries and doubts and confusions, regrets? And what is the nature of emotions, of sadness, anger, frustration, resistance, denial? So the nature of all of these things is basically, simply put, trouble. But the good news is that the now, it is real. And then there is a layer of trouble. And that is exactly the layer of the mind, with all its problems. So you need to dehabituate yourself from the mind. And the very first thing is awareness in this process. It is to become aware the nature of memories, the nature of the past. You pull back the old energy into the present and you say, it feels like a long time ago. Or you project into the future and you feel excited because you're projecting into the future. Or you project into the future and you feel anxious because it's out of your control. And that is the nature of projections. So you need to bring more and more awareness to what you do. To what you do. It's nobody else doing this. And you have grown this way. Obviously, you can say incorrect way. And you have habituated yourself in many incorrect ways. And that's okay, because everybody did that. That's the problem of everybody. The whole humanity is in this problem. So the first step is to bring awareness of what you do. And to bring awareness of what is happening right now. It is of utmost importance to hear the truth, to hear it. You don't need to understand it and, mentalize it and philosophize it and grab it and hold it and not let it go. You don't need to do that. You need to just hear the truth that the now is real. That is simple. It's not philosophical. Everybody can confirm that you are real, now is real, things are happening now for sure. And the past is not as real, and the future is not as real. So reality now, consciousness, God, whatever you name it, is only accessible, available, possible only in the now. And to put it very simply, the now always felt real, no matter if you were a kid, teenage, unawakened, or awakened. Let's call it semi-awakened, with all the levels in between, until you become fully awakened that the now is real. So this is the good news. No matter how much trouble there is, this is the good news. That the reality is real and it's nice. And it's loving and it's happy and it's peaceful and it's trouble-free. That's the real reality. That's the good thing. So if you want to live this way, if you want to be this way, because that's the real reality. And it always felt real, that now is real. If you want to live this way, first is to know that the real thing is nice. That what you're aiming at is something that is very nice. It's very joyous, very happy, very loving, very fulfilling. That's what you're really aiming for. And that must be accessible in the now. It must be accessible in the now. This is important. It must be accessible in the now. If you're aiming for something which is not accessible in the now, let's say success, fame, that you need to work for 5 years or 10 years or 50 years, or certain material possessions, these goals and aims are temporary, and the happiness will be temporary. They require a lot of work, they require a lot of time, and anyways, when you grow old and die, they will be gone. So these things are temporary. The reality will never die. It will never grow old. The body will grow old. Reality will not grow old. It hasn't grown even a bit. Because as you were a kid, it felt real. As you were a teenage, it felt, it sucked, but it was real, usually in the teenagehood. And, and as an adult, it became very overly responsible, and it felt real. Now it feels real. And when you're gonna grow old, it's also gonna feel real. But it's good that you would come to the realness fully and open it up absolutely. Because the nature of that realness is happiness, freedom. So to hear the truth is of the utmost importance. The step number 2 is to bring awareness of what you are doing. Not your partner, not your mother, not your anybody else to blame for. No, not about others. What you are doing. To take self-responsibility, to take a ability to respond in every present moment in the best possible way. That is called responsibility, and that is your responsibility to be able to respond in every moment in the best possible way. There is nobody to blame for it, because that you are doing yourself right now, and you need to bring awareness to every single thing that you're doing right now. Because as we know, 96% are subconscious, are semi-conscious, are unconscious, are habitual, conditions, patterns, habits. 96% is a lot. And you have to redo it. And luckily, it doesn't need to take so long, because now it's becoming so much easier. So this is why even in Buddhism, it's always, the monks would always used to say, first you learn to live, then you unlearn everything. And you have to really unlearn everything. Everything you believed in, everything you thought about, everything you habituated, everything you take for granted, everything that everybody ever told you. Even the Buddha said, do not believe in anything, even if it was done for thousands of years. So bring awareness into the realness. And then you need to recognize, what are those diseases of the mind? What are those troubles of the mind? And everybody calls them normal. That is not normal. It is normal for everybody who is sick. Now, it is, if you're in a hospital, then it's normal to see everybody sick, and doctors, if you're in a hospital. But if you're not in a hospital, that is not normal. So everybody calls normal anger, sadness, depression, anxiety, fear, doubts, worries, confusions, uncertainties, frustrations, resistances, denials, regrets, desires. We call it normal. It's human. It's normal. No, it's not. It's not normal. What is normal is to feel happy. So let's remove this word normal, because it is so distorted. It is so unbeneficial to call anything normal. What does it even mean, normal? It means commonly accepted. Commonly accepted. And if something is commonly accepted, it means it is simplified, dumbed down, and habituated, so that you never need to question it anymore. That's called norm. Don't question the normal. The new normal is to wear the face masks. That's the new normal. Of course it's not normal. Don't question it, it's normal. Well, it's good because people are now really awakening to the ridiculousness of these face masks. You know, if you go to paint a car, for example, or you put like a proper mask, you know, that you don't smell the poison of the paint. And here there's a deadliest virus in the whole human history, and people are wearing some cloth on their mouth, and it's supposed to protect you from the deadliest virus. Couldn't be more ridiculous. So it makes just no sense at all. So for me, looking at the whole human civilization makes no sense at all either. Because people call fear normal, they call anger normal, they call depression and anxieties normal, they call their worries normal. And they say, we're humans, it's normal. No, it's not. There is a better way, a more natural way, and you can do that. So it's time to deprogram, dehabituate, rewire yourself into that which is real, which is natural, which is normal. And that is freedom, and that is awareness, that is happiness. So as you will be growing your awareness to recognize these patterns, behaviors, conditions, most likely you will also put pointers in your head that I'm aiming for happiness, I'm aiming for love, I'm aiming for peace. I would also like you to hear that the reality is even more than specifically this or that or that. That consciousness itself, or God, or the self, or you, that is all. That is everything. And it is undescribable. If you aim only for happiness, you're aiming again for a portion of the whole. If you're aiming only for love, you're aiming again only for a certain portion of the wholeness. So the good news again is that you can't put your finger on it. What is this consciousness? But the best way I could tell you, it just feels real. And it's the source of all of this. It's the source of happiness, the source of love, the source of peace. This is also very important to hear. And then your mind will tell, okay, I'm going to aim for the source. Don't describe it. Yes, don't make it as a, as a fixture. Just know it that the real is real, but don't mentalize it. Don't make it into philosophy, into an object, into a certain idea, into a certain expectation, how it's supposed to feel like, how it's supposed to be like. Because that's where you're going to get tricked. Because the mind will make it into expectation, into idea, into a goal, into a desire, into a need, and you're going to get back into the loop of the mind again. So the realness of now is real. And that's it. And then you can sense your mind like, ooh, projecting. But how about this? The mind is projecting, oh, I have the issues. Or, oh, okay, how can I keep it? Well, the realness of now is real. How can you keep it? It's happening, it's real. How can you keep it? It's already happening. You don't need to keep it. You understand? You don't need to keep it. It is keeping you. The reality is keeping you. It's happening right now. How can you keep God? Oh, you can't. You can only surrender. You can only realize or merge back into it, from your mind back into the source. You can't keep it as such. So the realness of reality, the realness of now is real. And that is that's simple. And I, of course, recognize that you will realize, you will understand that it's hard and you can't keep it, and your mind creeps in, and maybe you start to feel powerless because you can't do anything about it, or others of you feel, oh, there's a lot that I need to do about it. But regardless of your individual circumstances, the realness of reality, the realness of now is real. And there's nothing more to add to that. And your experience is like this right now. And it is possible to awaken to this realness of now. Even with all the troubles, it is possible to awaken. That's called awakening from suffering or true suffering. So some teachers have awoken like this, true suffering. There are many ways how people can awaken to the realness of now. But most of the people will say it's too hard. It's too hard because I have this pressure and that pressure, and my mind is not leaving me alone, and my chakras are unbalanced, and there are many reasons why it's too hard. And that depends on the condition, on how much you are holding yourself or resisting. on how much you are relying on the mind. I'd rather be safe than real. I'd rather keep safe with what I know already rather than to experience the realness of now. But the realness of now, it's just simple, it's happening. Again, I don't want to describe too much because it's just happening now. So there will be many kinds of excuses. Many will say it's too hard. And probably you're going to give 1,000 reasons why you can't do it yet or now. And you will give another 1,000 reasons why you need more time. Or you will say, I don't fully understand it, I need more time. So there will be all kinds of excuses. Or even the mind can deny and say that, no, what's real is my ideas, my philosophies, what the government is saying, what the politicians are saying, that is real, or what Buddha said 2,000 years ago, but now it's a philosophy in the head. All kinds of the mind may become protective and or defensive, and it can come up with these other ideas that are more real than the breath of life right now. But the ideas are more real than the breath of life right now. So as a little summary is what I'm trying to say is that the realness of now is real and it's so simple and there's nothing much to add really to it. And most of the time I'm simply talking about of what are the troubles and how do they function and how to get over those troubles. So a 30-second exercise, it's just to hear and know that the now feels real. That's it. And don't add anything more to it. No excuses, no complaints, no justifications, no ideas, no definitions, no philosophies, no expectations. Don't add anything to that. And when you start adding more to that, then bring your awareness, look at the mirror of awareness to see what stuff are you adding on top of the now. And that's what you need to let go. Release, heal, surrender, decondition, rewire, change your habits, change your behaviors. It's an instant mirror of now to see what you're adding on top of now. On top of that fundamental simplicity, the realness of now is real. Fundamentally simple. And then right away there's a mirror. In your awareness, you can look at that mirror and see what you're adding to it. That's what you need to work on.